Today I fucked up by letting my nephew use my deceased brother's cell phone. This happened yesterday. My brother passed away in an accident a few months ago. He was only 35. Needless to say, it was, and still is, a huge trauma to all of us. My 6-year-old nephew wanted to play a game in my brother's, his father, phone. Sister-in-law was okay with it, so I let him. All of a sudden, I hear him doing a monologue. Went to check up on him. He was clicking on family members' pictures and making calls. A few moments later, people started to message me saying they almost had a heart attack. Some didn't have the balls to answer. My sister had to leave a work meeting because she started to shake. They were scared. They were surprised. The best was people's description of the moment they picked up the phone and saw my brother's name on the screen, thinking he was calling from the beyond. We all had a good laugh. Mandatory edit. Thank you for the gold. Thank you for the condolences. My brother's phone line is still active, it's in a family plan. I won't be pestering my sister-in-law about this, she is having a hard time already, and if this isn't an issue for her, I sure won't create one. Too long didn't read. Family freaked out thinking my deceased brother was calling them, instead it was my nephew using his phone. When my grandma died, her husband kept using her phone but didn't tell anyone. 6 months after she died I got a call from her, but I guess he butt dialed me because I picked up and just heard static, and a muffled voice on the other end. Freaked me the fuck out. My dad passed away when I was younger, he was 35 as well, and a couple years later I got my driver's license. My mom called my phone to see what I was out doing, and when I answered she said my dad's name in a question kind of way. I was like, oh no. And I heard her tone get kind of sad, and she said, oh, you sounded just like your dad when you answered, with a small chuckle at the end. It was a wholesome moment that made me sad about it all over. Frown? My brother got my dad's old phone number when he got a phone, and that was a whole other adjustment. A couple times I forgot and thought he was calling from beyond the grave. I'm sorry for your loss, Op. I'm really sorry for your loss, Op. Although, it's so wholesome to think when they answered the call, who they thought was your brother, was actually his son. Almost like part of your brother was the one calling. Op, I'd recommend going through that phone and deleting anything unsavory, but keep all conversations AMD, all photos and all apps setting the exact same, and let her nephew go through it when he's older. Just do a full backup of the phone and keep it in multiple places, email, USB, multiple sites that probably won't go down in 3 to 5 years. Google Drive. When my mom was dying she left her job and, of course, had to give up her phone. They gave the phone to her replacement, who had been my mom's protege, and one of her best friends. Shortly thereafter, when she died, her friend kept calling me about funeral arrangements and such. It was pretty hard on me. Not trying to be insensitive, but couldn't you change the caller ID? Either way, I'm sorry for your loss and hope you're doing alright. Today I fucked up by playing a joke on a colleague who took it seriously. I ended up losing a vacation day, and got a disciplinary action in my file. I worked for a workman's compensation provider some time ago, and there was a guy in my department, Todd, who was mildly annoying. Nice enough guy, but just a bit juvenile. He enjoyed pranks and was always trying to get a rise out of everyone in the office. Little things like taping our computer mouse or asking ransom for the return of our coffee cup. It got to be enough. So I decided he needed some payback. He paid out a claim that was huge and he was nervous about it. I don't know why, but it just seemed like an opportunity to me, and so I waited. About a week later, in a team meeting, everyone was in on it but Todd. I said that there were some payouts that were kicked upstairs for review and that it was a potentially serious situation. A couple of days after that, I stopped and poked my head into his office and asked, "Did you pay out X amount on the Smith file?" He said he had and asked me why. I just walked away. The following Monday, I had my plan laid out fairly well. After sharing the detail with my brother-in-law, he suggested that I borrow his black surplus Impala cop car and park it at the entrance. Then, early that morning, I went about putting crime scene tape across the door to Todd's office. I had the receptionist in on it too. When Todd came in that morning, she would look at him, then fumble for the phone, turn her back and mumble into the receiver. Todd made it to the top of the steps when I rushed up to him and said, "Dude, go, just go." "What the hell are you talking about?" he asked. "Just turn around and leave, drive anywhere, just go." He shrugged me off, but I could tell that he was a little rattled. He turned the corner to see his office door blocked with crime scene tape, and for a moment, he froze in his tracks. He walked past his office, and around the corner, out of sight. He ended up slipping out through the stairwell. He was gone for 9 hours. I had to call his wife to get a message to him that it was a joke. His absence meant that management got involved. I had to confess to being the perpetrator of the prank. I got a stern talking to, my boss was trying really hard not to laugh, and I lost a vacation day as a result, but it was worth it. Todd doesn't tape my mouse anymore. Too long didn't read. I played a practical joke on a colleague and he took it seriously. Edit, I posted this thinking it might be amusing to a few of you and I wasn't expecting much of a response from it. I have to say, I've enjoyed the pissy posts the most, the ones saying I went too far. Yes I did, which is why this was a FU. For any of you worried about Todd, he's fine. This actually happened in 1993 and I posted it because Todd and I were remembering it recently, and laughing, and so I had it on my mind. Yes, I still work with him, a different company now, and we've been friends for almost 25 years. Maybe next time you could just put his stapler in some jello. Get a little cop car toy and some mini police tape, and warden off his keyboard/mouse on the anniversary of the prank. The office LPT, place a coin inside his handset every 2 weeks. After 6 months simply remove all coins. More tips from the office. Replace his writing instruments with crayons. Stare at his forehead for no reason. Convince him he is turning into a vampire. Convince him he is a robot. Plant a 500-foot red wire from the back of his computer to the top of a telephone pole. Add keys to his key ring gradually until he has a ridiculous amount of keys. Send coworker on quest for Holy Grail. Convince coworker FBI is sending him top secret messages. Next time just fill his desk with meatballs. Least useful too long didn't read, ever. All I can imagine is Todd in some shady warehouse for 9 hours, destroying his torture maze, dumping body parts in strategic locations around the city, getting a phone call from his wife at the end of it only to find out it's a prank. Now he's gotta set up everything all over again. Hate when that happens. Today I fucked up when I read my mom's recipes. Throw away because there's just no way I'm immortalizing this shit on my actual Reddit account. This morning my mom messaged me to ask if I could come over and update the antivirus software on her PC. I agreed to drop in when I'm done working. Fast forward to me appearing in front of my mom's computer, initiating the update process, and proceeding to do nothing but stare at the progress bar. While I was doing that, my mom proceeded to prepare dinner. The update was taking forever, so I decided to kill time by bringing necessary order to my mom's desktop. It was a mess. Dozens of random folders, scattered across the screen in no particular order whatsoever. I couldn't even see the fucking wallpaper. It was enough to summon the OC demon buried inside of me and clean up the clutter. So, as I was organizing my mom's shit, I noticed a folder called Mom's Recipes. Now, as a guy who's dating a girl who loves a man who can cook, this folder piqued my interest. I figured it wouldn't hurt skimming over some of my mom's recipes and perhaps surprising the girlfriend with an unexpected home-cooked meal. I opened the recipe folder and clicked on the Word document inside. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not the world's most intelligent person, but when I see the words mom and recipes, I imagine wholesome family dinners and shit. Not. I'm a woman, I'm a widow, I'm a mother, I'm over 50, and I'm still the whore next door. This was the fucking opening line to my mom's cold recipes. It was an ominous sign that I should not read any fucking further. I read further. It became clear to me my mom's recipes had nothing to do with how to cook, but rather how to fuck. I made it through the first 2 pages before the recipe book went into graphic detail about what my mom's preferences were when it comes to size of the dick going into her mouth and vagina versus the size of the dick going into her ass. I closed the document, finished the update, and got the fuck away from that computer. My mom invited me stay for dinner but I declined. All I could see was different sized dicks entering my mother everywhere. I think I need to end our relationship now. Too long didn't read my mom's recipes and realized her favorite ingredient is cock. Betty Cocker. Putting the moist in super moist pound cakes since 1921. The line while I was doing that, my mom proceeded to make dinner means something very different by the end of the story if those are her recipes lol. If you don't cook her something tonight and tell her you got the recipe from her mom's recipes folder on her computer, you will have blown a major opportunity. When my mom died, I had to clean out her house and her phone. Chains, restraints, naked pics, books. R.I.P. Mama, I love you, you're nasty. So did your GF like any of mom's recipes?